What surprised me the most would be the energy level and the real direction of ecology for therapists. The symposium provides a wide breadth of different professionals that are leaders in our profession right now that give the most current information.
It's quite exciting to have this gathering of both the energy and to have so many. I think the hope that it gives of joining together, that's a media thing. And also I'm quite thrilled myself personally to combine with ecological awareness and see what we as a psychotherapist can do on that.
I'd say the camaraderie, the friendliness, being a volunteer, I was a little nervous up front. But it's been an easy ride, and everyone has been very wonderful. Probably the comfort level of all of the people who are really running the show. They're comfortable with themselves. Certainly, particular leadership is very comfortable, and it's just great to see. It puts everyone at ease, and we're having a good time.
This particular year, I'm focusing on anxiety with teenage children. So I'm interested in finding out what kind of some of the precursors are for addiction. And I think anxiety is one of them. I remember the whole experience. The whole experience will be memorable. And I'll be looking forward to coming again in two more years. We come every 2 years. Our agency sends a group of us every 2 years. It's a good place to get exposure to different types of psychotherapy, different models of therapy, different perspectives on therapy, and they should come.
I come every 5 years because, number one, you got some of the best speakers in the country, so just to keep up with my skills. You get the best professional opportunities, you get to network, and again, I think it's really, for the best presenters in the country, I think it's very cost affordable. It's economical.
I am going to have to change my pattern on depression. I just found out that depression is not a genetically transmitted mental illness, that it's a very low correlation between the genetic factors, and so you didn't know that either. And I'm astounded to know that depression is not a genetic disease. I really enjoyed Richard Gonzalez's dance day. Just being able to dance for an entire day was such a treat. And I had a great time with that, and I don't always do the Thursday, but I really needed to have a Thursday where I was moving instead of sitting in my chair. It's the best deal in town, And I really like the variety. I enjoy seeing the same people every year and meeting new ones. I love coming here. It's a fabulous experience.
It's very stimulating. It's different. It's an experience. A friend recommended it to me, so I would recommend it to somebody else. The Networker is a marvelous organization. Even the publication is very stimulating.
My name is Janet Aptaker, and I live in New York City. And I've been volunteering at the Symposium. I was afraid you were going to ask this question. At least 10 years, if not maybe 15. And when I first started, I was a social work student, and of course now I'm in the field, and it's kind of contributed to my overall evolution as both a person and as a professional. And the experience as a volunteer has had a multi-layered influence as well, because I've been privy to the inner workings in some way, but also having a really magnificent experience as far as just the content of all of the presentations that are available. And in fact, I just saw a reenactment of what I saw several years ago. Jean Houston, who, just blows me away. And, it just keeps reinstalling the learning that I got originally. And it's just in different ways and through this repetition and this association and seeing old faces and friends who I haven't seen since a year or two ago. And in fact, I'm with a woman today who I met, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. We were both volunteers. We were in the book place, you know, what is it called? The exhibition hall, thank you. And we became friends, and since then she's come to New York for various things, trainings that she's done, and we've become friends. And last night we went to dinner and I met 8 other women therapists, and now I have a whole new network of friends. And I mean, it's just like this exponential blossoming. And the other thing, another layer, associative grandeur, this is my hometown. So I return to friends, and I stay with a friend who lives within walking distance, and every morning when I walk here, it's the harbinger of spring, which hasn't hit New York yet. I came in on the bus yesterday and I saw my first blooming tree, which took away my breath, and it's just been a wonderful unfolding. There's no surprise. I mean, it's a predictable collaboration of wonderful people.
What I like best about the Networker is that it does give me an opportunity to interact and be refreshed, and to explore new possibilities for my practice. I am in a practice that's quite lonely and at times, and this is my wake-up call as well as my oasis for keeping myself alive, as well as really interacting with other people too. So I can't wait to be here at the conferences each year. Hearing Daniel Siegel this morning talk about the importance of how we need each other and how the brain interacts with what might keep us isolated, and just reinforcing that I need to make sure that I get my needs met in my own practice as well. I'm not that surprised, because Rich and all the staff does, I think, an incredibly rich job at organizing the whole conference. It's really amazing. I think I'll remember the most the exhibit tables, because there's so many, and it's just a plethora of knowledge wrapped up in the books, and the speakers are there. They're accessible oftentimes. There's a lot of opportunity to learn and grow still. So that's what I'll remember the most. My colleagues, friends, what I'll tell them is that they should definitely come to the yearly symposiums to get refreshed and new insights and to be challenged, and I think it's essential. I absolutely do.
How amusing the speakers were at times, and how affirming I feel for the work that I do. And after all, I'm kind of at the end of my career, so there's not all that much that's new, but I found renewed courage and determination to do more of what I do and do it better.
It's wonderful to see the Networker expanding with technological possibilities. I think this has been more life-changing for me than any Networker conference I've gone to so far. And everything has come together in a very interesting way. Yesterday I was with Dick Schwartz doing internal family systems, which I was somewhat familiar with, but it clicked in a very powerful way what it might be like to have the self with a capital S being really in charge of one's life. And then Daniel Siegel this morning was deeply moving to me, just deeply moving, not only what he says, but who he is. And last night, Natalie Goldberg's keynote address, I think, was very transformative for me. It made me want to perhaps take her intensive year of writing and make a commitment to something pretty big in my life. I'm 77, and who knows how long I've got to do this. So thank you.
I think what I'll remember the most is that you're not alone when you're doing psychotherapy. You are not alone, and so you can develop some new friends, you can get some training, and then you know that you have a resource, people to turn to, whether they become lifelong friends, new information. So it was really the best experience.
The joy of it and what it's like, this tribal feeling, and what it's like being with your own people and people who are all about the care and feeding of us so that we can then take good care of our clients. It's really remarkable. I've never been to a training like this.
I have to tell you, the camaraderie that's here, the feeling of belonging, it's amazing. I'm among my own people. It's great. It's great. I took a breathwork class. That's the thing that I'm going to remember the most this year is the breathwork class that I took. It was awesome. I went in with one perception and I came out with a totally different perception. I think I'm going to look into doing some breath work myself. Yeah. I would tell my friends that if they can make it to the Psychotherapy Network, if they are a therapist, that it's a great experience. Not only do you have the experiential oneness with all of your peers, but you also come away with different techniques and knowledge that you didn't come in with.
What was new and exciting at the symposium for me was the ability to interact with some real visionary people in the field, as well as the individual contacts that I'm making with other professionals. I remember the most about the symposium is just the solidarity and the camaraderie that I felt from everybody here. I would tell any of my friends or colleagues that were wanting to attend that this was absolutely time and money well spent. I would most certainly recommend the symposium to anybody with an interest in advancing their skills and their contacts in psychotherapy. I'm really, really glad in closing to have attended, and I plan to do this more than once.
What was new and exciting this year was the emphasis on neuroscience and mindfulness and integrating that into psychotherapy. It seems like that's what's moving our field forward into a new paradigm. What surprised me the most was the flow. As you move from workshop to workshop and activity to activity, everything's really coordinated and everyone's so helpful and you don't get lost. Here's what I'll remember the most about this year's symposium. The keynoter this morning was Tara Brach, and she spoke so much about coming home and coming to a sense of presence. And then afterwards, Rich Simon said, those aren't usually my words, but that's what happens at the symposium, a sense of loving presence. I do encourage my friends and colleagues to come to this symposium because of the sense of community, the sense of tribe, the sense of spending 3 or 4 days with people who think like you and feel like you and care like you do, and to be buoyed up by that sense of belonging. My closing thoughts and comments really are to have a deep, heartfelt thanks to Rich Simon and Jim Foreman and all of the staff and volunteers at the symposium, because they create this incredible oasis, this refuge of community every year, and it's so nourishing and sustaining.
My name is Maria Cristina Moya. I'm a psychotherapist. This is my 3rd year here. I would wish more people from my country would come here because I feel that I have learned very much. I think that North American psychotherapists are privileged of having very near and can know personally some of the authors that I only know reading them. So I want to say thank you to the people that organized this, because I am bringing a lot of knowledge and material to my people, and I expect to bring more people of my country next year. So thank you very much. Well, every time I come, I choose the workshops that are related with mindfulness, because it's what I am trying to work. But today, what really emotioned me was Tara Brach. I get very emotional because she made me cry. It was so simple, but so profound what she said that really emotioned me very much. Worthwhile to come so far away. 14 hours of airplane is expensive, and it takes a big effort to be listening everything in English, but I think it's very worthwhile. So I will tell them.
You know, actually I need, 40 continuing education units every 2 years, and so I looked at it. This is a good way to get maybe at least 20 of those, and plus, yeah, it looked very, very interesting at the same time. It's helped me to become more, I guess, to use a cliche term now in psychology, mindful, but it helped me to do a lot more self-exploration, to become, I come from a cognitive behavioral background, in education and experience, and I'm learning a little bit more about meditation, about the spiritual orientation, to go inside self in a way that I'll be able to use with my clients also. I'll tell them is yes, you can, I feel like I've grown about 10 years. Well, 10 feet taller, by coming here, and I will tell them that, yeah, it's a great growing experience. The camaraderie. I'm not doing so much in networking, but, in terms of camaraderie and personal growth, and also in learning skills to use in practice.
I am very excited about the energy psychology and energy in general, to understanding more deeply. And today I have an excellent workshop with about the breath, which is done by Dr. Brown and Dr. Gerberg. And I think that anything that is more practical, and he seems to be gearing toward the practical exercise this afternoon, and I'm really excited about that. And I also liked Dr. Maggie Phillips' presentation on energy and heart and healing, and I think that was very, very meaningful to me. But I want to say about Rich Simmons' opening remarks, I think that he is so witty. He has his own style of sarcasm, but he's witty, he's insightful, and very eloquent, and I really enjoyed his speech very, very much. I think it was just a lot of fun to listen to him. And his analysis and diagnosis of the way the world is right now. It was very interesting. I am surprised that the energy is so much on the top, and the breath, and understanding the brain. And it's an interesting thing because it's like there are two different ways of looking at things. Some are very scientific and very physiological, talking about brain as a physiological phenomenon and neurological systems. And then there's this energy stuff that is not something tangible, but is so real and so important. And I think that I'm very, very pleased to see that it's really taking so much preference here and so much focus and attention here. It's an absolutely great advancement in understanding the human body and human mind and human psyche, and that we are really energy. They have focused a lot about creativity, but creativity and spirituality is my thing. And I really think that there should be more depth creativity workshops here, and combining spirituality and creativity in a more depth.
I tend to come all 4 days, and one of the things that almost happens every year is a theme gets, not the theme that they have suggested so much, but some theme kind of evolves through the 4 days, which is always lovely for me. It's kind of a discovery within another discovery, kind of, and that's always exciting for me. So I leave with some answers that I didn't even know I had the questions to. The surroundings are lovely. All the speakers are wonderful. There's so many choices. You make new friends, you see old friends. The weather's generally nice in March. There's just so many benefits to a symposium like this. I like the word symposium. And I can't believe some people don't even know about it.
Is there anything The main difference I found in this particular conference is that there's a lot more emphasis on having fun, taking care of yourself. People here aren't distant or unapproachable. I found that to be the case in some conferences. And the presentations and the things that were offered went beyond my expectation. So this has been wonderful. It's been like a vacation while learning. I would definitely recommend it to my colleagues. I think it offers a chance to not only learn what and remind ourselves what we already know, but it also gives us a chance to step outside the box and see what's new and innovative to use in our practice. I've gotten far more out of it than I've paid for the conference. So.
This is my second time, and I must say that I'm shocked that I didn't know about it before, and because I love it. It is my new therapy favorite thing to do. What I find most exciting about this experience is it's a very validating experience. That as a therapist of over 30 years, hopefully I've been learning a lot of different things, trying to integrate them, and then to come here and hear them validated and expanded upon. And I don't go to a workshop that I don't learn a little bit more about what I'm interested in. It's fantastic. One of the memories is just about how much fun it is to be away from home in what I call both an educational but a very fun thing to do. And I came with a new friend for the first time. She's a friend of about a year. We haven't been away together before, and it was lovely. So that part was nice. But the other major thing is I'm always so impressed with our group. I mean, this can make me tearful, and Rich says it very well, and he's always talking about this, but if you're going to have a family, this is a great family to have, of people who are dedicated to what they're doing. They're here because they're trying to do it better, and they're really nice, fun people. Give yourself a gift. This is a gift. Come, and whenever I pick workshops that I think will be really good for my clients, but also for me. So think about yourself. We work very hard, and this is a treat. Coming here is a treat. The dancing is a lot of fun. I love to dance, and there is a lot of attention paid to the spirit and health of us as therapists, and that's always a great reminder to keep dancing, to keep meditating, and give us practice in that.
Well, this year I treated myself to 4 days instead of the usual clinical 2, and it turned out I loved Creativity Day and concluding day, particularly with Tara Brock, more than any other symposium experience to date. How wonderful it is to feel the energy around the hotel and all the attendees. I think that what really made the conference exceptional this year was just the flow of energy and the bonding between people. That was an exciting part of it. Outside of the classroom experience, I enjoyed the dancing more than anything. Whether you're coming for clinical training or for some issues with your private practice work, I think it's important to incorporate what you want to do for yourself as much as any other aspect of your your agenda when you come to the symposium. Find the things that, you know, enliven you and bring out the best of you and your creativity and in your life. As John O'Donohue, who's been very present in the conference year, speaking of several of our instructors, he's always been a great inspiration for me in particular. Dan Siegel and Tara Brack both mentioned his name, and I know the positive influence he's been on all of us. It's very much an experience to see how he continues to enable us to unfold, as he puts it, in our wildness of experience and self-discovery. And so I want to thank John O'Donohue for coming to this year's symposium, as he has each year.